स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता ह्य सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे त्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Let us spend a few moments in silence and meditation. Let us offer our salutations to the all-pervading blissful spirit in any name or form. Let us offer our salutations to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Swami Vivekananda, and all great teachers, all great saints in the whole world. Think of the Divine Lord, Sri Ramakrishna, seated in your heart in the center of a beautiful lotus. Meditate on the qualities of the Supreme Being. Hridaya madhye rajitam nirvikalpam Sada kila bheda atitam ekaswarupam Prakriti vikriti shunyam nityamanandamurtim Vimala paramahamsam Ramakrishnam bhajamaha. We meditate, we worship, we think about Sri Ramakrishna, the great swan, Paramahamsa, who is Vimala, without stain, in the center of our heart. Nirupamamati sukshmam nishprapancham niriham Gagana sadrishamisham sarvabhutadhivasam Triguna-rahita satchit brahmarupam varenyam Vimala paramahamsam Ramakrishnam bhajamaha. Vimala paramahamsam Ramakrishnam bhajamaha. Mentally offer a few flowers at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, at the feet of Ma Sharada, and at the feet of Swami Vivekananda and your Guru, wherever he is. Mentally offer pranams with great devotion, concentration, and faith, thinking of Sarvadeva Devi Swarupaya, Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. Let us pray for the well-being of all people, for the good of all people, for the health and peace of all our fellow beings. Please repeat. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhave. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om. Let us chant Sangha Suktam before we proceed as usual. Om Sangachadvam Sambadadvam Samvo Manamsi Janatam Deva Bhagai Yatha Purve Sanjanana Upasate. May you move in harmony, speak in one voice, let your minds be in agreement, just as the ancient gods shared their portion of sacrifice. Samano mantraha samitihi samani samanam manaha sahachittamesham samanam mantram abhimantrayevaha samanena vo havisha juhomi. May our purpose be the same, may we all be of one mind. In order for such unity to form, I offer a common prayer. Samani va akutihi samana hridayani vaha samanamastu vo mano yatha vasu suhasati. May our intentions and aspirations be alike, so that a common objective unifies us all. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Continuing to understand Sri Ramakrishna Stotra Dashakam, composed by Swami Vivekananda Maharaj, Holy Mother's disciple, on exactly who is Sri Ramakrishna, whom we worship, whom we sing and whom we meditate upon. There are some very important, very interesting, very powerful stotras composed by Vedananda ji, composed by Virajananda ji, composed by Sharadananda ji and others, and Swamiji himself. That is good for our meditation, good for our peace, purity, and to get connected with Sri Ramakrishna. So he says here in the sixth dashaka, sixth stotra, Sarva Dharma Gamya Moola Satya Tattva Deshakam Siddha Sarva Sampradaya Varjitam Sarva Shastra Marmadarshi Sarva Vinni Raksharam Tam Namami Deva Deva Ramakrishna Mishwaram. So as Sri Ramakrishna himself said, in olden times the sergeant or the night patrol police will be carrying a lantern with three sides covered, and the fourth side is opened. So he can see others, the public cannot see him. And if they want to see who he is, how he looks, they have to request. Sir, please turn the light towards yourself. Then if he shows or gives consent, then he will turn the light towards himself, and people opposite to him can see who he is. So like that, who is Sri Ramakrishna? What is our connection with him? How to know him? So many things are being said about him. We have to pray. He is our own light, he is our goal, he is our direction. Sometimes goal is different, direction will be different. But in Sri Ramakrishna's case, he is the path and he is the goal. Aine margam, aine gamyam. So these shlokas help us to understand. See the words, see the connectivity with the personality of the divine being called Sri Ramakrishna, who lived in flesh and blood in the 19th century. Sarva dharma gamya moola. He who preached the one eternal truth underlying all religions. Sarva dharma gamya moola tattva deshikam, satya tattva deshikam. So when you offer pranams to Sri Ramakrishna, these words should ring in your mind. Sarva dharma gamya moola satya tattva deshakam. He who preached the one eternal truth underlying all religions. Yesterday also I pointed it out. When a simple Christmas Eve celebration was done, people talk all sorts of things without knowing the basis, without knowing the why in Ramakrishna Math we follow this. This is the secret. Sarva dharma gamya moola satya tattva deshakam. He went deep into every religion, cleaned it up with all his sadhana, and gave and understood the purity in that religion. Siddha sarva sampradaya sampradaya varjitam. Who attained realization through all faiths. He prayed to the mother, I don't want to be a dry sadhu. I want to see you, I want to understand you in various ways. And how other people worship you. Oh mother, please provide the opportunity. So Sri Ramakrishna got the opportunity. And then the expression, experience is here. Who attained realization through all faith, siddha sarva sampradaya, but never identified himself exclusively with any particular faith. Siddha sarva sampradaya sampradaya varjitam. He did not narrow himself to one practice. That is the uniqueness. That is called Catholicity. That is called the bigness. That is called the wideness of the religious being. No one-sidedness. Not criticizing anybody. Finding the truth in everybody. Then, Sarva Shastra Marmadarshi Sarva Vinni Raksharam. Who knew the essence of all scriptures? Sarva Shastra Marma. What is Marma? Secret. Secret of what? Sarva Dharma Shastra Marma. Whether it is Brahma Sutras, whether it is Vedanta Sutras, whether it is Dharma Shastras, whether it is Tantrika Shastras, anything. It is all in the fingertips of Sri Ramakrishna. When Master Mahashaya wants to enter into Sri Ramakrishna's room along with his friend Siddhu, since the door was half closed, Brinde, the maid servant, was cleaning the room of Sri Ramakrishna. She was doing her work, and Master Mahashaya, since he is a gentleman, educated, he did not want to go without noticing, without sending information. Master Mahashaya asks, Mahendranath Gupta asks, can I go inside? Probably he is doing his Sandhya Vandana. Has he read any books? That question also Master Mahashaya asks. Has he read any books? Then what is so interesting and inspiring and very important to notice is how that lady, that maid servant, understood the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna by telling and laughing, "Arey bhai, what books? Everything is on his tongue. I have not seen him reading books, but everything is on his tongue." See, the lady has observed, maid servant. Look at her concentration, look at her observation and expression. She says, Sarva Shastra Marmadarshi Sarva Vinniraksharam, who knew the essence of all scriptures and was all knowing without being book learned at all. Aksharam, not a little aksharam, but research has been done. Sri Ramakrishna knew how to write. He knew how to write. He knew how to read. Not that he was totally niraksharam. Tam namami deva deva Ramakrishna Mishwaram. To him, Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna, the Lord Supreme and the source of all divinities, my salutations, our salutations. Beautiful translation in Telugu. Anni mata sampradayala dwara satya sakshatkarani pondinavadu. అన్ని మతాలకు అంతర్లీనంగా ఉన్న ఆ ఒకే శాశ్వత సత్యాన్ని ప్రబోధించినవాడు. అలాగే ఏ ఒక్క సంప్రదాయానికో పరిమితం కానివాడు, సర్వశాస్త్రాల సారాన్ని గ్రహించినవాడు, అక్షర జ్ఞానం లేకుండానే సమస్త జ్ఞానాన్ని ఆర్జించినవాడు, సమస్త దివ్య గుణములకు మూలాధారమైన వాడు, పరమాత్ముడైన ఆ శ్రీరామకృష్ణునకు నా ప్రణామములు. భక్తుల గుంపున్నప్పుడు మన ప్రణామములు. ఇండివిజువల్గా వెన్ యు ఆర్ సింగింగ్ ఆర్ చాంటింగ్ ఫర్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ ఇన్ యువర్ రూమ్ ఆర్ ఇన్ యువర్ మెడిటేషన్, రామకృష్ణ భజామ్యహం తం నమామి దేవదేవ రామకృష్ణమీశ్వరం. That can be changed as per your situation. So this one shloka can be your meditation for the next 6 days or till next Sunday, which is another auspicious important day, that is Kalpataru Utsavam. Right. So we go forward in understanding Swamiji, understanding the story of the Ramakrishna Mission. But today is a very important day. Yesterday also was an important day, and tomorrow also is an important day. I don't know how many of you are thinking, how many of you have thought, and how many of you will think. Past, present, future tense. 24th December, 25th December, 26th December are very, very important in our nation. The turning point in Swami Vivekananda's life came on these 3 days. 1892. His meditation, na bhuto na bhavishyati. What is this na bhuto na bhavishyati? Nobody has done that kind of meditation in the past. Nobody can do in the future. Each avatar, each great teachers have come for that particular purpose, and they leave a mark behind. Swami Vivekananda came from the Saptarishi Mandala. Sri Ramakrishna brought him down for a purpose. And at every stage in the 39 glorious years of Swami Vivekananda, you can see the purpose 100% fulfilled. 1886, Sri Ramakrishna passes away, attains Mahasamadhi, leaving the responsibility of taking these young disciples to Narendra. And at the same time telling Narendra, you cannot sit quiet, your very bones will do the work of the mother. Until you complete the work of the mother, you will not get the key for your realization. And he had warned the other disciples, see that Naren's mind is kept in the body itself. The day he understands who he is, the very moment he can cut that Maya into pieces, and he will go back to his abode. All these disciples were very, very careful brother disciples were very careful to keep Swamiji in good humor. Sri Ramakrishna understood that there is a very thin layer, just a thin curtain between him and God and that supreme consciousness. At any moment he can take the axe of knowledge and the sword of knowledge and cut that covering into pieces. By mere wish he can do it. Sri Ramakrishna was very careful. After 1886 starts Swamiji's wandering days. 6 or 8 months he stayed with his brother disciples, but that passion, that longing to go to the Himalayas was so powerful, he could not stay. Walking up to the Himalayas and whole India for the purpose for which he came. And then culmination comes at Kanyakumari. The Kanyakumari meditation is a very important phase in Swami Vivekananda's life. He did not have even 1 paisa to pay to the boatman. But having seen the glory of India, glory of Bharatavarsha, and having seen in person and experienced the misery, the superstition, the untouchability, the narrow-mindedness of the learned people and the Maharajas and the scholars, Swamiji felt very, very sad. But he had a big darshanam in Somnath in Gujarat. He is sitting in a cave, meditating on the Nada Brahma. But his heart and mind was for the masses of India. Then suddenly he saw a light emerging from the Himalayas and covering the entire subcontinent, ending at the feet of the mother in Kanyakumari. He clearly saw India is rising from her sleep. Mother India is smiling again. And his biography says, Gujarat Days biography says, Swamiji got up from his meditation seat and started jumping like a child, dancing like a child. My mother is smiling again. My mother is awakened again. And from this western coast, he comes down to the southern coast. And all through meeting the great Pandits, the poorest of the poor, Parayas, untouchables, who are outcasted, who are staying away from the villages, the cobblers, the sweepers, the fishermen, the laborers, eating with them, talking with them. Then meeting the Maharajas, meeting the great Pandits of Advaita, of Ramanuja, of Ishtadvaita. Somewhere he saw there is a mismatch. What they are talking and what they are doing is no tallying. With all that experience, with all the pain, he comes to southern India, the southernmost part of India, and there he sees. His heart is already full by that time. It is breaking into pieces. He is not able to control his emotions. Then he says, after worshipping the mother in the temple in Kanyakumari, he walked towards the beach, the Indian Ocean. Cold December, the windy waves hitting across the shore, bringing wave after wave into the shore, knocking against the trucks. But here is much bigger agony in the heart of Swami Vivekananda. Who can understand that? And then he asked the boatman to take him across. He says, pay something. Pay 1 rupee. Swamiji did not have anything. He did not bother whether it is possible to swim or not, because the agony and the pain of Mother India was so great. He jumped into the waters and swam across the shark-infested Indian Ocean. He plunged into those shark-infested waters and swam across. The ocean tossed around him, but in his mind was a greater turbulence, a greater earthquake, just hitting him against again. My motherland, my people. There, at Kanyakumari, sitting on the last bit of Mother India's rock, he passed into a deep meditation on the present and future of the country. He saw three Indias. He saw three Indias very clearly. The past of India is called the radiant Bharatavarsha. Of the Vedas, Vedangas, Puranas, Upapuranas, Dharmashastras, Acharyas, Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, all going round in his subconscious mind. Then he saw the present poverty, the oppression and suppression by the British. And people had lost faith in themselves, faith in the Shastras, faith in their motherland. Something has gone wrong. He sought for the root of her downfall. With the vision of a seer, he understood why India had been thrown from the pinnacle of glory to the depths of degradation. Some UNESCO people made a research. In AD 1, India's GDP was 34%. By 1900, it had come down to 1.7%. What is the cause of this? Swamiji wondered. Why economically we fell down? Is it the cause of the British? Is it our own foolishness? Is it religion? Time and again this was posed. Your Sanatana Dharma, your Hindu Dharma is the cause of your downfall. Very important. Then you see, where only wind and surf were to be heard, he reflected on the purpose and achievement of the Indian world. He thought not of Bengal. He did not think of Maharashtra. He did not think of Punjab, but of India as a whole. And the life of India. The centuries and centuries were laid out before him. He saw India organically and synthetically as a master builder might visualize in the concrete an architect's plan. He saw religion to be the lifeblood of India's millions. India, he realized, in the silence of his heart, shall rise only through a renewal and a restoration of that highest spiritual consciousness that has made her at all times the cradle of the nation and cradle of the faith. Because he went through every person and saw religion. Not the matam, but the tattvam and the dharmam. The Hindu eats religiously. The Hindu sleeps religiously. The Hindu breathes religiously. Sarvam kalvidam brahma eva. It was not in books but in experience. And then the meditation says, he saw her greatness. Bhavya Bharata Darshanam. He saw her greatness. He saw her weaknesses as well. The central one of which was that the nation had lost its individuality. Vyaktitvani kolipoyindi. It lost its faith. It was smashed on the head. You are nobodies, you are nobodies, you are nobodies. He saw her greatness, he saw her weakness. To his mind, to Vivekananda's mind, what was happening? The only hope lay in a restatement of the culture of the rishis. Religion was not the cause of India's downfall, but the fact that true religion was nowhere followed. Religion, when lived, was the most potent of all forces. This has become a fashion with some section of the society today, to blame religion for anything and everything, as if these are the greatest Brahmadeva Putras. Sometimes when I hear to the debates and the arguments, I feel like crying or laughing, I don't know. This is the problem. When cooking is not good, they blame the fire. Religion, nikalo. This is religion. It's like somebody telling, remove the police from Hyderabad, you will understand what will happen. India is in one piece and one stronghold because of dharma. Remove that and the whole nation will collapse. And these modern people or the executives, etc., they find fault in this. They don't recognize Vivekananda because he emphasized on the role of religion in daily life, as if that is his greatest mistake. But what is the pravaham? What is the undercurrent? Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. For 35 years, communist government was in Bengal. What happened? Religion has become stronger. Whole state of Tamil Nadu, they went in procession, insulting the gods and goddesses. Mother is there in three aspects, as Kanchi Kamakshi, Madurai Meenakshi and Kanyakumari. Nobody can touch. The single-minded monk had become transformed into a reformer, a nation builder, a world architect. His soul brooded with tenderness and anguish over India's poverty. A sannyasi is talking all this. He would have told, eat banana and do Gayatri Japa. Told, go do Upavasa and eat one apple and drink milk and keep quiet. No. We have done enough. We have put a big barrier between religion and daily life. That was not the case during the Vedic times or what Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna said. Whether the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita or the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Second chapter taught Arjuna who he is, self-identity, self-awareness, self-transformation. And his third chapter, Karma Yoga, teaches what? Action. Once you understand yourself, go and serve, go and work with that spirit. And then the Gnana will come. You cannot just give away work and go. You have to do the work. To attain the Naishkarmya Sthiti, you have to do some Nishkama Karma. You will know the value of sleep only when you are tired. Simply go on sleeping, it is Kumbhakarna Ashirvadam, that's all. Only lazy fellows will do. But Swamiji is telling, it is not religion the problem, it is the acharana that is the problem. Everywhere and at all times he saw that the poor had been oppressed by whatever power the changes of fortune had set over them. The dominance of the priesthood, the despotism of caste, the merciless divisions which these created in the social body, making outcasts of religion, the majority of its followers, these the Swami saw as almost insurmountable barriers to the progress of the Indian nation. In one of the classes I had mentioned, we are stuck up as a nation with different kinds of identities. First identity is the political identity, which is very, very wrong in our country. Don't take oath by the government or the political party. The second identity is the religious identity, the matam identity. The third identity is the caste identity, where Swamiji is mentioning there. The fourth identity is the language identity. The fifth is region identity. But what was Swamiji's identity? Not Maharashtra, not Punjab, not Telangana, not Andhra, not Karnataka, but Bharata, India. That was his identity. Could anybody talk at that time like that? Go back to the history. Go back to the times when Swamiji lived. But Swamiji brought that unification after his experiences. You cannot cut off every part of the country and say this is only India. Later on you see those who are studying history and following the freedom movement. When we got freedom in 1947, what did you see? What was the priority of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? To unify the nation. 565 princely states. Each fellow thinking, I am India. Not worrying about the whole body, thinking about only his prantam. Swamiji saw, where did this narrow-mindedness come from? Who taught you all this? It is your own selfishness. It is your own misunderstanding of the scriptures. That was his meditation. 24th December, 25th December, 26th December, 3 days, 3 nights. A sannyasi is crying and crying, Mother, Mother, Mother. Which Sri Rama told in Sri Lanka. Janani janma bhumischa sargadapi kariyasi. Swamiji proved it in modern times. He told in America, I don't belong to Bengal. I belong to the whole country. No. Nobody can tell I belong to them. I belong to the universe, he said. My ism is universalism. Vishwatma bhavam. Vishwatma acharana. So in the meditation, what happened? Swamiji's meditation at Kanyakumari, he seemed to enter in some high mode of feeling. In their suffering, in the people's suffering, he found himself sharing. And he thought, what can I do? A penniless sannyasi. What is the master plan? Where shall I get the money? Who will be with me? Answers he got. What was the remedy? The clear-eyed Swami saw that renunciation and service must be the twin ideals of India. Tyaga and Seva is the national ideals of India. If the national life could be intensified in these channels, everything else would be taken care of. Renunciation alone had always been the great dynamo of strength in India. So at this critical time, he looked to the men of renunciation to uphold the cause of India's downfall, or India's downtrodden masses. So he writes a letter, much later, to Swami Ramakrishna Anandaji. Ramakrishnaji of all people did not go out of Baranagar monastery, was constantly involved with Sri Ramakrishna Puja. But to him he is writing. That's where the connection I said, within 15 days, Ramakrishnaji had to come to South, to Chennai. And from there started his Ramakrishna Mission work in the entire 4 states. Without him, we would not have got any centers in India, in the South. He says, look at the master plan, look at the idea. Suppose some disinterested sannyasis, bent on doing good to others, go from village to village, disseminating education and seeking in various ways to better the condition of all down to the Chandala through oral teaching and by means of maps, cameras, globes and such other accessories. Cannot that bring forth good in time? All these plans I cannot write out in this short letter. The poor are too poor to come to schools and patashalas, and they will gain nothing by reading poetry and all that sort of thing. We as a nation have lost our individuality. And that is the cause of all mischief in India. We have to give back to the nation its lost individuality and raise up the masses. The Hindu, the Mohammedan, the Christian, all have trampled them underfoot. Again, the force to raise them must come from inside, that is from the Orthodox Hindus. In every country, the evil exists not with but against religion. Religion, therefore, is not to blame but men. But what could he do? Penniless. No bank account, no property. But he has got this big plan of nation building. Rebuild India, we say. Our Sangha Guru, Swami Vireshwaranji, used to tell the youth. So many times I have heard him telling. Cannot you give 2 years of your life for the poor people of India? He himself is Holy Mother's disciple. It was deep meditation he used to be absorbed in. But when he saw the youth, he says, 2 years of your life can't you give for the people of India? Afterwards, choose a career. Go and serve in the villages. Go and sacrifice. And he used to give the example of so many devotees who sacrificed their life, their personal life. His last lecture, 1985. In January, when that year it was announced by the government of India, Vivekananda's birthday will be called National Youth Day. His last speech, you should read. There is a small book called Young Youth of India Rise. He was 95 years old, but somehow he got the energy that day. And he is telling the youth, 10,000 people gathered in Belur-Math. Give 2 years of your life, just 2 years. Go to the villages, go and serve, teach, as Swamiji wanted us to do. In the midst of despair, inspiration came to him. He had travelled the length and breadth of India. He was sure that in every town he could find at least a dozen young men who would help him in the service of the masses. But where was the money to come from? He asked for help. He got only lip sympathy. Selfishness personified. Are they to spend anything? He lamented. In his anguish, he looked out over the ocean. A ray of light shot across his vision. Yes, he would go to America in the name of India's millions. There he would earn money by the power of his brain. Returning to India, he would devote himself to the regeneration of his countrymen or die in the attempt. Sri Ramakrishna would show him the way, even if nobody in the world would help the work. He gazed over the waters through a mist of tears. His heart went out to the Master and to the Mother in prayer. From this moment, his life was consecrated to the service of India, but particularly to the service of our outcast Narayanas, her starving Narayanas, her millions of oppressed Narayanas. To him, in this hour, even the direct experience of Brahman in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and the bliss attending it became subservient to the overwhelming desire to give himself utterly for the good of Indian people, Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. To him, religion was no longer a special province of human endeavor. It embraced the whole scheme of things, the Vedas, the sages, asceticism, meditation, supreme vision, and the people of India. Yes, indeed, at Kanyakumari, the Swami became the patriot and prophet in one. One village man, Kanyakumari village man, he saw Sri Pillai, school teacher. He saw Swami Vivekananda jumping into the ocean. He tried to prevent him. But Swami Vivekananda could not hear anything. And by evening, this man has not come. Vivekananda has not come back. From a distance, he saw Vivekananda is sitting on the rock. Then he took a boat and went. Sri Pillai. And said, Swami, please come back. It is already evening. It becomes night. Swami Vivekananda did not talk. Sri Pillai says, I could see only tears in his eyes. He signed to me, don't disturb, go. Again he came back and took little milk. He took little banana so that the sannyasi can eat something. But Swami Vivekananda signed. He was totally silent, totally deep in meditation about India. He showed a small hole in the rock and said, if you want to give, keep it there. I will take when I want. And again sat in meditation. Every day he used to go and do this seva to Swami Vivekananda. He was a blessed soul. Then after 3 days, Swamiji came back to the shore and the rest is history. So, how these 3 days we spend is also very, very important. Can we get connected with Swamiji? Please read the biography of Swamiji, either in Telugu or English or Hindi or Bengali or whatever language you like. Read that 3 pages tonight, tomorrow. Read it with your family members. Read it with your friends. Stop other gossip. Meditate on INDIA. Do we have that love? Do we have that feeling instead of talking politics and gossiping? This is the question Vivekananda is asking us. It's a very important meditation. And now when we see Swamiji sending Shashi Maharaj, Swami Ramakrishna to South India to spread the message of the Master, what kind of life in Madras? There are so many wonderful books which have come about those days, of the monks, of the sannyasis who were trained by Swami Ramakrishna in Madras. One of them was Swami Shankaranandaji, who became the 7th president of the order. He says, poverty in Madras. In 1902 or 3, there were only 3 inmates in Castle Karnan. Castle Karnan is known as Ice House. Now it is called Vivekananda Illam. Swami Ramakrishna, Swami Paramananda and Brahmachari Amulya, later Swami Shankarananda, who became the 7th president of the order. The mutt did not have any cook or servant. See, Story of Ramakrishna Mission, you should go back to those days. Not seeing today and say, hey, Ramakrishna Mission, chala dabbu undi. Em dabbu undi? Evar dabbu? ఒక రోజు ఉండండి తెలుస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. ఈ గ్లాస్ కూడా నీ తీసుకెళ్ళే అధికారం లేదు నాకు. దిస్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు ది సంఘ. Deep inner stories are there. See the experience of Swami Shankaranandaji. An old woman, blind of an eye, used to come in the morning and afternoon to cleanse the cooking utensils. The monthly income in cash amounted to rupees 24 only. Monthly income only 24 rupees. The mutt was maintained with this and with the vegetables or flour that Ramakrishnaji begged from the students attending his class. Shashi Maharaj's meditation, Shashi Maharaj begging for food from his own students. Once, some Swamis from Belur Mutt on their way to Rameshwaram came to stay at Madras Mutt. Ramakrishnanandaji sent Brahmachari Amulya to Professor Rangachari in Triplicane for a bag of rice. On the way, he met Sri Venkatarangam, who on learning of the Brahmachari's purpose offered to send a bag of rice. He wanted to meet somebody he met, and they said, we will give rice. All right. Professor Rangachari too immediately sent a relative to procure a bag of good rice, which Brahmachari Amulya brought to the mutt loaded on a hand cart. So 2 bags he got. By then, Venkatarangam had already sent a bag of rice. Having 2 bags of rice, Ramakrishnaji was very happy, and uttering Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, he somehow managed few days of rice. Once Swami Ramakrishnaji offered the publishers of the Upanishads to translate some of their works in exchange for some payment. Hearing this, they arranged for some monthly subscription for the mutt. This is how 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees was collected. This is how the Ramakrishna Mission grew up. and the living presence of Sri Ramakrishna in the mutt. You see, on one very sultry evening after supper, Shashi Maharaj laid himself down on the cot, and I was massaging him as usual, Swami Sarvananda. Sarvananda was President Adhyaksha of Ramakrishna Mutt, Chennai. It must have been 11 o'clock in the night, and the heat was oppressive. He suddenly got up. Who got up? Shashi Maharaj. Swami Ramakrishna suddenly got up. He tied his cloth round his waist, went into the shrine room. It's a very famous story. He also asked me to follow. He, Swami Ramakrishnananda, stood with a fan near the photo of Sri Ramakrishna. And for more than 1 hour, he was fanning that photo. Why? Sri Ramakrishna is feeling the heat. If I am feeling, Sri Ramakrishna also must be feeling much more. You may ask, he could have easily taken the photo and kept under a fan. But Sri Ramakrishna is sleeping. How can I disturb him? Every moment, Swami Ramakrishnaji felt the presence of Sri Ramakrishna. He asked me also to do the same. Keep on fanning the Lord. Kainkaryam it is called. His whole behavior could not fail to engender the feeling in my heart that Sri Ramakrishna was actually present there, sleeping on the cot. And we were serving Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vishuddhanandaji, who became the 8th president of after Swami Shankaranji, Holy Mother's disciple, he said, on coming to Madras, the first thing that struck me most was the way he was leading his life. It was a life of complete self-surrender, Sampurna Sharanagati, Paripurna Sharanagati, and dedication to God. It was a life of complete self-surrender and dedication. The be-all and end-all of all his existence was Sri Ramakrishna. To be guided by such a lofty life is in itself an object lesson of the highest spiritual worth. These are actual words which they have written later. It was indeed a rare privilege for anyone to be by his side and to be able to mold and elevate one's character following such an example of purity and holiness. During my 2 years of stay with Swami Ramakrishnananda in Madras, I learned from him how to love Sri Ramakrishna. What a wonderful observation. So like this, when we read those olden days, it's a big lesson for all of us. It's a joy for all of us that we are connected, knowingly or unknowingly, with Sri Ramakrishna Sangha. And here is Unselfish Love in Madras, written by Swami Satchidananda in a book called Swami Ramakrishnananda as we saw him. A big book, solid book of all the experiences of people who saw, who lived and served Swami Ramakrishnananda in Madras for 14 years. It's a very beautiful book. Those who are interested should read that book. A few days later, he referred to Almanac and told me, tomorrow is an auspicious day. Would you like to leave for Calcutta? I replied, as you please, sir. The next day, got up at dawn, offered food to Sri Ramakrishna, then prepared a seat for me and said, come here. When I drew near, he touched my forehead with a finger dipped in curd, a tradition followed by mothers in Bengal to remove the obstacles from the path of one going out on a new venture. Then he asked me to offer pranams to Sri Ramakrishna. When I came back, he asked me to have the prasada. As I was eating the prasada, Swami Satchidananda writes, he stood by the door and wept profusely. Swami Ramakrishnaji is weeping profusely, as if a mother was sending her daughter to her in-laws. See the love and unselfishness of Shashi Maharaj, Sri Ramakrishna's disciple. I was struck with wonder. After he finished eating, he hired a vehicle and accompanied me to the railway station. He purchased a ticket for me. Then he approached the train, boarded a compartment. Oh, this is extreme. He cleaned the seat before I sat. What a wonder. What is Ramakrishna Mission, you understand? I learnt from one of my great Swamis, who is no more today. He taught me how to clean a latrine. He taught our boys, we were all in a team, personally called me and said, I will teach you today how to clean latrine. He was a very, very big monk. Whole Karnataka used to praise him. When he died, the governor, the chief minister, everybody came. But what did he teach? How to clean latrines. Later he taught other things. He says if you can clean a latrine nicely, you can also meditate nicely. Sri Ramakrishna did it. Mother did it. Mother told, if you are able to remove the skin of the vegetables properly, then you can meditate properly. సరిగ్గా తొక్క తీస్తే కూరగాయలది ఆ మైండే ధ్యానం చేస్తుంది, కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్తో చెయ్యి. See, he approached the train, boarded a compartment, cleaned a seat with the end of his own cloth, kept the food articles there and spread my bedroll. అన్యాయం చేస్తున్నాడు. At last he tucked the ticket into my palm and said, come, board the train. I got in. He stood by the door and wept, tears rolling down his cheeks. The train whistled off. I saw him gazing at me without winking. Such a mother-like affection I had seen in Vivekananda alone. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Ga क्षय दृढनिश्चय मानसा
वाक्यमनातीत मनोवचनैकाधार प्रभु मनोवचनैकाधार ज्योतिर्ज्योति उज्ज्वल हृदि कंद ज्योतिर्ज्योति उज्ज्वल हृदि कंद तुमि तम भंजनहार प्रभु तुमि तम भंजनहार नमो नमो प्रभु वाक्यमनातीत नमो नमो प्रभु वाक्यमनातीत मनोवचनैकाधार प्रभु मनोवचनैकाधार ज्योतिर्ज्योति उज्ज्वल हृदि कंदर ज्योतिर्ज्योति उज्ज्वल हृदि कंदर तुमि तम भंजनहार प्रभु तुमि तम भंजनहार दिदि लंग रंग भंग भाजी अंग संग मृदंग दिदि लंग रंग भंग भाजी अंग संग मृदंग गाय छे चंद भक्त वृंद आरती तोमार गाय छे चंद भक्त वृंद आरती तोमार जय जय आरती तोमार हर हर आरती तोमार शिव शिव आरती तोमार
महाराज जी के जय। ॐ ह्रीं ऋतं त्वमचलो गुणेढ्यः न तं दिवं सकरुणं तव पादपद्मं मोहं कर्षं बहुकृतं न भजेयतोऽहं तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो भक्तिर्भगश्च भजनं भवभेदकारी गच्छन्त्यलं सुविपुलं गमनाय तत्त्वं वक्त्रोद्धृतोऽपि हृदये न च भाति किञ्चित् तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो तेजस्तरन्ति तरसा त्वयि तृप्ता तृष्णा रागे कृते ऋतपथे त्वयि राम कृष्णे मर्त्यामृतं तव पदं मरणोर्मि नाशं तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो कृत्यं करोति कलुषं कुहकान्तकारी शान्तं शिवं सुविमलं तव नाम नाथ यस्मादहं त्वशरणो जगदेक गम्या तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीनबन्धो ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। सर्वमङ्गल माङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। सृष्टि स्थिति विनाशानां शक्ति भूते सनातनी गुणाश्रये गुणमये नारायणी नमोस्तुते। शरणागता दीनार्ता परित्राण परायणे सर्वस्यार्ति हरे देवी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोस्तुते। जय नारायणी नमोस्तुते। प्रकृतिं परमां अभयां वरदां नररूपधरां जनतापहरां शरणागतसेवकदोषकरीं प्रणमामि परां जननीं जगतां गुणहीनसुतां अपराधयुतां कृपयाद्य समुद्धर मोहगतां तरणीं भवसागरं करुणाश्रयदानेन कृपामयि नमोऽस्तु ते। लज्जापटावृते नित्यं शारदे ज्ञानदायिके पापेभ्यो नः सदा रक्ष कृपामयि नमोऽस्तु ते। रामकृष्णगतप्राणा तन्नाम श्रवणप्रिया तद्भावरञ्जिताकारा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। पवित्रं चरितं यस्याः पवित्रं जीवनं तथा पवित्रता स्वरूपिण्यै तस्यै कुर्मो नमो नमः। देवीं प्रसन्नां प्रणतातिहन्त्रीं योगीन्द्रपूज्यां युगधर्मपात्रीं तां शारदां भक्तिविज्ञानदात्रीं दयास्वरूपां प्रणमामि नित्यं। स्नेहेन बध्नासि मनोस्मदीयं दोषानशेषान् सगुणीकरोषि आहेतुनानोदयसे सदोषान् स्वाङ्गे गृहीत्वा यदिदं विचित्रं प्रसीद मातर्विनयेन याचे नित्यं भव स्नेहवती सुतेषु प्रेमैकबिन्दुं चिरदग्धचित्ते विषिञ्च चित्तं कुरु न सुशान्तं। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः।
పేజ్ 8. गणराज गजानन गावा हो गणराज चर्चित शुण्ड विराजित सिन्दूर चर्चित शुण्ड विराजित सिन्दूर चर्चित शुण्ड विराजित सिन्दूर चर्चित शुण्ड विराजित मोदक हस्त पहावाहो मोदक हस्त पहावाहो गणराज गजानन गावाहो गणराज गजानन गावाहो विघ्न विनायक बुद्धि प्रकाशक विघ्न विनायक बुद्धि प्रकाशक विघ्न विनायक बुद्धि प्रकाशक विघ्न विनायक बुद्धि प्रकाशक तो वरदायक ध्यावाहो तो वरदायक ध्यावाहो गणराज गजानन गावाहो गणराज गजानन गावाहो आनन्दात्मज चिन्तित सेवित आनन्दात्मज चिन्तित सेवित आनन्दात्मज चिन्तित सेवित आनन्दात्मज चिन्तित सेवित हा भव सिन्धु तरावाहो हा भव सिन्धु तरावाहो गणराज गजानन गावाहो 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 పేజ్ 104 104 भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सङ्गे चित्तं देयं दीनजनाय च वित्तं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे काते कान्ता कस्ते पुत्र संसारोऽयमतीव विचित्र कस्य त्वं कुतायात तत्त्वं चिन्तय तदिदं भ्राता भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे शत्रौ मित्रे पुत्रे बन्धौ मा कुरु यत्नं विग्रहसन्धौ भव समचित्त सर्वत्र त्वं वाञ्छस्य चिराद्यति विष्णु त्वं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे वैमयि चान्यकैको विष्णु व्यर्थं कोप्यसि मय्य सहिष्णु सर्वस्मिन्नपि पश्यात्मानं सर्वत्रोत्सृज भेदज्ञानं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे गुरुचरणाम्बुजनिर्भरभक्त संसाराधचिराद्भवमुक्त इन्द्रियमानसंयमादेवं रक्षसि निजहृदयस्थं देवं भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि नहि रक्षति डोक्रुं करणे పేజ్ 130 130. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. రామ సీతా రామ 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 సీతా రామ 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 సీతా రామ 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 సీతా రామ రామ. గావో అవిరామ చందరే. రామ సీతా రామ రామ గావో అవిరామ చందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. మారుతి ప్రీతివర్ధనా. మారుతి ప్రీతివర్ధనా. మారుతి ప్రీతివర్ధనా. మారుతి ప్రీతివర్ధనా. మకరధ్వజ మార్ధనా. మారుతి ప్రీతివర్ధనా. మకరధ్వజ మార్ధనా. యమయంత్రణాభంజనా. యమయంత్రణాభంజనా. భజ రఘుకుల చందరే. యమయంత్రణాభంజనా. భజ రఘుకుల చందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. శ్రీ దశరథనందన పాదారవింద వందరే. నాధర దూర్వాశ్యామలా. నాధర దూర్వాశ్యామలా. నాధర దూర్వాశ్యామలా. నాధర దూర్వాశ్యామలా. నయనానంద నిర్మలా. నాధర దూర్వాశ్యామలా. నయనానంద నిర్మలా. మండిత జటామండలా. మండిత జటామండలా. మండిత జటామండలా. మండిత జటామండలా. ముఖే హాసి మృదు మందరే. మండిత జటామండలా. ముఖే पादारविन्द वन्दरे राम सीता राम 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 सीता राम राम गावो अविराम चंदरे राम सीता राम राम गावो अविराम चंदरे श्री दशरथ नंदना पादारविन्द वन्दरे श्री दशरथ नंदना पादारविन्द वन्दरे श्री दशरथ नंदना श्री दशरथ नंदना।
పేజ్ 167 167.
राधे 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 गोविंदा 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 वृंदावन चंद्र वृंदावन चंद्र अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा 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 राधे 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 गोविंदा राधे 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 गोविंदा वृंदावन चंद्र वृंदावन चंद्र अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा पंडरीनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा पंडरीनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा पंडरीनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा पंडरीनाथ पांडुरंग राधे गोविंदा वृंदावन चंद्र वृंदावन चंद्र अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा राधे 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 गोविंदा राधे 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 गोविंदा वृंदावन चंद्र वृंदावन चंद्र अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा नंद कुमार नवनीत चोरा 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 राधे गोविंदा वृंदावन पुंडरीकाक्षा पुराण पुरुषा राधे गोविंदा
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 वृंदावन चंद्रा
वृंदावन चंद्र
अनाथनाथा दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
राधे 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 गोविंदा राधे
राधे राधे राधे गोविंदा
वृंदावन चंद्रा
वृंदावन चंद्र
अनाथनाथा दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
विठ्ठल विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल 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 राधे गोविंदा
वृंदावन चंद्रा
वृंदावन चंद्र
अनाथनाथा दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
राधे 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 गोविंदा
राधे 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 गोविंदा
वृंदावन चंद्रा
वृंदावन चंद्र
अनाथनाथा दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
विठ्ठल विठ्ठल जय हरि विठ्ठल 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 राधे गोविंदा
वृंदावन चंद्र
वृंदावन चंद्र
अनाथनाथ दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
राधे 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 गोविंदा
राधे 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 गोविंदा
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 वृंदावन चंद्र
वृंदावन चंद्र
अनाथनाथ दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीना बंधु राधे गोविंदा
अनाथनाथ दीन बंधु राधे गोविंदा
221 221. భజ రే రామకృష్ణ నామం, భజ రే పరమహంస నామం, భజ రే రామకృష్ణ నామం, భజ రే పరమహంస నామం. రాముడు తానై కృష్ణుడు తానై వెలసినది నామం, రాముడు తానై కృష్ణుడు తానై వెలసినది నామం. పరమ పావనం సకల భయహరం పతిత పావన నామం, రాముడు తానై కృష్ణుడు తానై వెలసినది నామం. పరమ పావనం సకల భయహరం పతిత పావన నామం. ప్రేమ సుధారసమొలికే మదిలో భజరే ప్రభునామం, భజరే గుణధామం. ప్రేమ సుధారసమొలికే మదిలో భజరే ప్రభునామం, భజరే గుణధామం. భజరే రామకృష్ణ నామం, భజరే పరమహంస నామం, భజరే రామకృష్ణ నామం, భజరే పరమహంస నామం. ఆర్తుల కొరకై అవతరించినది అమృతమీ నామం, ఆర్తుల కొరకై అవతరించినది అమృతమీ నామం. కరుణకు నిధి అయి కల్పతరుగా నిలిచినది నామం, ఆర్తుల కొరకై అవతరించినది అమృతమీ నామం. కరుణకు నిధి అయి కల్పతరుగా నిలిచినది నామం. ప్రేమ సుధారసమొలికే మదిలో భజరే ప్రభునామం, భజరే గుణధామం. ప్రేమ సుధారసమొలికే మదిలో భజరే ప్రభునామం, భజరే గుణధామం. భజరే రామకృష్ణ నామం, భజరే పరమహంస నామం, భజరే రామకృష్ణ నామం, భజరే పరమహంస నామం. పాపహరం పద్మార్థసాధనం మధురం ఈ నామం, పాపహరం పరమార్థసాధనం మధురం ఈ నామం. పరమయోగులకు మోక్షిని యొసగే ప్రణవం ఈ నామం, పాపహరం పరమార్థసాధనం మధురం ఈ నామం. పరమయోగులకు మోక్షిని యొసగే ప్రణవం ఈ నామం. ప్రేమ సుధారసమొలికే మదిలో భజరే ప్రభునామం, భజరే గుణధామం. ప్రేమ సుధారసమొలికే మదిలో భజరే ప్రభునామం, భజరే గుణధామం. భజరే भज रे रामकृष्ण नामं भज रे परमहंस नामं भज रे रामकृष्ण नामं भज रे परमहंस नामं। नामावली। सरयो तीर विहारे सरयो तीर विहारे सरयो तीर विहारे सरयो तीर विहारे दंडकवन संचारी दंडकवन संचारी दंडकवन संचारी दंडकवन संचारी श्रीमदहल्यो धारी श्रीमदहल्यो धारी श्रीमदहल्यो धारी श्रीमदहल्यो धारी सज्जन मानसहारी सज्जन मानसहारी सज्जन मानसहारी
सज्जन मानसहारी
सरयो तीर विहारे सरयो तीर विहारे दंडकवन संचारी
दंडकवन संचारी
श्रीमदहल्यो धारी
श्रीमदहल्यो धारी
सज्जन मानसहारी
सज्जन मानसहारी
यमुना तीर विहारे यमुना तीर
विहारी
यमुना तीर विहारे
यमुना तीर विहारी
वृंदावन संचारी वृंदावन संचारी वृंदावन संचारी
वृंदावन संचारी
गोवर्धनो धारी गोवर्धनो धारी गोवर्धनो धारी
गोवर्धनो धारी
गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी
गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी
गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी
गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी
यमुना तीर विहारे
यमुना तीर विहारी
वृंदावन संचारी वृंदावन संचारी गोवर्धनो धारी गोवर्धनो
धारी
गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी
गोपाल गोपालकृष्ण मुरारे
गंगा तीर विहारे गंगा तीर
विहारे
गंगा तीर विहारे गंगा तीर
विहारे
पंचवटी संचारी पंचवटी संचारी पंचवटी संचारी पंचवटी
संचारी
गिरीश चंद्रो धारी गिरीश चंद्रो धारी गिरीश चंद्रो धारी गिरीश
चंद्रोधारी
शारदा मानस विहारी शारदा मानस विहारी शारदा मानस विहारी शारदा मानस विहारी सरयू तीर विहारे सरयू तीर विहारे सरयू तीर विहारे
सरयू तीर विहारे
दंडकवन संचारी दंडकवन संचारी सरयू तीर विहारे सरयू तीर विहारे दंडकवन संचारी
दंडकवन संचारी
श्रीमदहल्योद्धारी श्रीमदहल्योद्धारी श्रीमदहल्योद्धारी
श्रीमदहल्योद्धारी
सज्जन मानस हारी
सज्जन मानस हारे
सज्जन मानस हारी
सज्जन मानस हारे
यमुना तीर विहारे
यमुना तीर विहारे
यमुना तीर विहारे यमुना तीर विहारे वृंदावन संचारी वृंदावन संचारी वृंदावन संचारी वृंदावन
संचारी
गोवर्धनोद्धारी
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 गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी गोपाल कृष्ण मुरारी गंगा तीर विहारे
गंगा तीर विहारे
गंगा तीर विहारे
गंगा तीर विहारे
पंचवटी संचारी पंचवटी संचारी पंचवटी संचारी
पंचवटी संचारी
गिरीश चंद्रोद्धारी गिरीश चंद्रोद्धारी गिरीश चंद्रोद्धारी गिरीश
चंद्रोधारी
शारदा मानस विहारी शारदा मानस विहारी शारदा मानस विहारी शारदा मानस विहारी गंगा तीर विहारी गंगा तीर विहारी गंगा तीर विहारी गंगा
तीर विहारे
सरयू तीर विहारे सरयू
तीर
यमुना तीर विहारे यमुना तीर विहारे गंगा तीर विहारे गंगा तीर विहारे
Swami Shardananda ji will be conducted after Aaratrikam. Coming Sunday, on 1st January, Kalpataru festival will be celebrated in the mud premises in a grand manner. Full details of the program are available on the flex notice board in front of the temple. On 2nd January, Monday, is Vaikuntha Ekadashi. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Parayanam will be there from 8 am to 11 am. Ramnam Sankirtan will be there after Aaratrikam. 4th Annual Devotees Convention of Ramakrishna Vivekananda Bhava Prachara Parishad, Telangana Division, will be conducted on 7th and 8th January, Saturday and Sunday, at Amma Gardens Function Hall, Katedani area, Hyderabad. This convention will be organized by Ramakrishna Seva Samiti, Padmashalipuram. For participating in this program, devotees can register their names at Temple Basement Hall. Most revered Vice President of Ramakrishna Sangha, Swami Gautamananda ji, will be visiting Hyderabad Mutt from 30th January to 5th February. During his stay, Revered Maharaj will give initiation for the devotees. Devotees seeking initiation can enroll their names at Temple Basement Hall. వచ్చే బుధవారం డిసెంబర్ 28వ తేదీ భగవాన్ శ్రీ రామకృష్ణుల ప్రత్యక్ష సన్యాస శిష్యులు స్వామి శారదానంద మహారాజ్ జన్మతిథి. ఈ సందర్భంగా ఆ రోజు సాయంత్రం ఆరాత్రికం అనంతరం స్వామి శారదానంద మహారాజ్ జీవితము సందేశంపై ప్రత్యేక ప్రసంగం నిర్వహించబడుతుంది. వచ్చే ఆదివారం జనవరి 1వ తేదీ మఠంలో కల్పతరు పర్వదినం వైభవంగా నిర్వహించబడుతుంది. ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి సంబంధించిన పూర్తి వివరాలు దేవాలయం ముందు ఉన్న ఫ్లెక్స్ నోటీస్ బోర్డుపై పొందుపరచబడ్డాయి. జనవరి 2వ తేదీ సోమవారం వైకుంఠ ఏకాదశి. ఆ రోజు ఉదయం 8 గంటల నుండి 11 గంటల వరకు శ్రీమద్ భగవద్గీత పారాయణం నిర్వహించబడుతుంది. ఆ రోజు సాయంత్రం ఆరాత్రికం అనంతరం రామనామ సంకీర్తన నిర్వహించబడుతుంది. రామకృష్ణ వివేకానంద భావ ప్రచార పరిషత్ తెలంగాణ విభాగం 4వ వార్షిక భక్త సమ్మేళనం జనవరి నెల 7-8 తేదీల్లో హైదరాబాద్ శివార్లలోని కాటేదాన్ ప్రాంతంలో గల అమ్మా గార్డెన్స్ ఫంక్షన్ హాల్లో నిర్వహించబడుతుంది. రామకృష్ణ సేవా సమితి పద్మశాలిపురం వారిచే నిర్వహించబడే ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో పాల్గొనడానికి భక్తులు దేవాలయం దిగువ హాల్లో తమ పేరు నమోదు చేయించుకోవచ్చు. రామకృష్ణ సంఘ ఉపాధ్యక్షులు పరమ పూజ్య స్వామి గౌతమానందజీ మహారాజ్ జనవరి 30వ తేదీ నుండి ఫిబ్రవరి 5వ తేదీ వరకు హైదరాబాద్ మఠంలో బస చేయనున్నారు. ఈ సందర్శనలో పూజ్య మహారాజ్ అర్హులైన భక్తులకు మంత్రదీక్షను ప్రసాదిస్తారు. మంత్రదీక్ష పొందగోరే భక్తులు దేవాలయం దిగువ హాల్లో తమ పేరు నమోదు చేయించుకోవాల్సిందిగా విజ్ఞప్తి. ఆఫ్టర్ జయకారం టు హోలీ ట్రియో, devotees can offer pranams to Revered Adhyaksha Maharaj in the temple basement hall.
जय भगवान श्री रामकृष्ण देव की जय। जय श्री शारदा माई के
जय
जय स्वामी विवेकानंद महाराज के
जय।